is just for gym bros and IFBB pros? Hell no. Welcome to the protein video. Protein is a macronutrient that basically every single system in our body requires. We need it to build muscle. We need it to repair tissue. We need it to provide us with antibodies. We need it to oxygenate our body. We need protein to help us digest, and we need protein to help us regulate our system, such as our blood glucose. You might think that it's only gym people that need protein, but that is so not true. Everyone, even the most sedentary couch potato, requires protein just to sustain optimal life. Is there any one-size-fits-all approach to protein? Do you know, for me, I'd always heard for such a long time 1 gram of protein per pound of body weight. And the more I researched for this video, I realized that that is really not true, although it could be. What I want to tell you today is how much protein do we need? What variables make up that differential in the amount that we require? How do you know if you're getting too much protein? And how do you know if you're not getting enough? Finally, what I want to show you is some visual aids so that you can put together your perfect day of protein. How much does 20 grams of chicken look like? Where are the surprise finds of protein? Maybe even in fruit, and who would have thought that? So, let's get started. According to the Mayo Clinic, even if you're a couch potato, you need to have some protein to prevent protein deficiency and the shutdown of some systems in your body. So if you're pretty sedentary and you spend a lot of your time just lounging around, you still need 0.8 of a gram of protein per kilogram of body weight. So a 150-pound person, translating to about 68 kilograms, they still require about 54 grams of protein a day. And that's just for laying around. Another thing that we need to think about is as we age, we start to lose muscle tone and muscle mass. This is called sarcopenia, and that sets in over age 40, into that age 40 to 50 age range. And to offset that, we need to increase our protein a little bit, even if we're sedentary. So now, instead of our 0.8 gram of protein per kilogram, we are now up to 1 to 1.2 grams of protein per kilogram of weight. So that same person now needs to boost up to around 80 grams of protein, okay? And that's a 150-pound person. So we really need to be aware of all of those things. Never mind, I call sarcopenia. I think it's called SGO. Sucks getting old, but we're gonna have to do what we have to do. What about if you're more active? I think that I'm pretty active. So according to the Mayo Clinic, a really much more active person needs more like 1.5 grams of protein per kilogram, which is still less than what I think that I'm getting at 1 gram per pound of weight. So that same 150-pound person now needs 102 grams of protein. Now, if you're a heavy-duty athlete or you're lifting big-time weights, cycling, running all the time, you're still going to have to up your protein even further. Now, according to the Mayo Clinic, over 2 grams of protein per kilogram of weight, they're saying is excessive, whereas I think in the fitness industry these days, that's pretty much the norm. And you know what? You can really gauge it for yourself when we start looking at signs that you're getting too much protein versus signs that you're not getting enough. So there is a lot of looking at yourself, seeing how your body's reacting. Are you getting too much protein? And we'll look at those signs in a minute. So you're going to have to monitor yourself. What are some of the signs that you're getting too much protein? Do you have to pee all the time? And it's not just because you have an overactive bladder? That's a sign. Are you constipated? Is your weight creeping back up? Are you feeling blah and sluggish all the time? And are you suddenly getting bad breath? These are all signs that maybe your protein intake is a little bit too high and you better back off, or you're not using it sufficiently. We cannot store protein. The excess protein that you have ends up being stored as fat. So, you know, we need protein to build muscle, but eating protein without the exercise does not just build muscle on its own. It has to be hand in hand. How do you know if you're not getting enough protein? What are the signs of that? Well, one of the interesting things is you can often get swelling in your feet and in your hands. mood changes, again, feeling really down, problems with your skin and your hair and your nails because protein helps with that collagen build. You may find that your injuries are slower to heal, even wounds and things are slower to heal. And one of the big things is you're hungry all the time. I love having protein in all of my meals and my snacks because it satiates me. I feel full longer. And if you don't, if you're constantly hungry, then really maybe you do need some protein into your diet. Just like at the Oscars, I want to start with one of the big winners, scoring 100 for its biological value, containing all 9 of the essential amino acids our body requires, the practically perfect protein package, the egg, containing 6 grams of protein, 5 grams of fat, and 72 calories. You've got it all. So whether you're going to crack it or slice it, the egg has vitamin A, D, and E, and essential fatty acids as well. How about some toast with those eggs? We've all put that Wonder Bread in the rearview mirror. Try sourdough. 2 slices of sourdough, 9 grams of protein, or these sprouted varieties. This sprouted rye has 8 grams of protein in these 2 tiny little slices and a much bigger boost of fiber. So let's go look now at some of the other nominees. We're at that point now that we can all figure out around about how much protein we need based on our weight and our activity level. So what are we going to eat to make up those protein grams that we really desperately need? Okay, well, these are the big guns in the protein world. For sure, we've got chicken and beef and fish and shrimp and the dairy and some protein powder. So let's take a look at portion sizes, because when you're going to be adding up your grams per day, you want to know how much to eat and how much that looks. So let's start with our good friend chicken breast. We've got 100 grams. These ones I'm all looking at 100 grams. We've got 100 grams of chicken breast, which is coming in at 32 grams of protein. I've got 100 grams of sirloin steak, and that's in pretty much the same, 33 grams, but the protein package here includes 5 grams of saturated fat, so you'll have to keep that in mind as well. 100 grams of salmon, coming in again close, around 27 grams of protein. You're also getting 1 gram of saturated fat, plus the boost of the omega-3 fatty acids, which we really, really need. Then I've got 3 nice big shrimps, again, no fat really, and the 100 grams of those shrimps are 24 grams. So that is your 100 grams of that grouping. Moving on to Greek yogurt, and I think I just eat so much Greek yogurt. So I've got Greek yogurt, here's 100 grams. That doesn't look like too much. That is 10 grams of protein. For the cottage cheese, in the same amount, you're looking at 11 grams, or the skyr, which is the Icelandic kind of yogurt, that one's coming in just a little tiny bit higher, maybe at about 12 grams. Good old milk, just 250 mils or a glass of milk, that one is 14 grams of protein. Another easy way to add protein to your diet is through protein powder, a good high quality, good tasting protein, like my son's brand new protein from Be Good Bakery. I like to add this to my pancake mix or waffles, or I've even made some really nice fritters from Will's cookbook. This couple of serving of this is 26 grams of protein, and that's a really easy add-in. We can't make all of our meals just around this. Who wants to eat chicken 3 times a day? So let's look at some other dietary options and see where the protein is in those. And I'm going to show you some portion sizes of things that are maybe not on the level of these guys on the protein stage, but very good for our diet as well. Moving on from meat, fish, and dairy, let's look at tofu, because that is a wonderful meat substitute that many people eat a lot. So here we are, 100 grams. Again, 100 grams portion, that's what it looks like, and that is 17 grams of protein. You know what's really surprising to me is here's our edamame, and here's 100 grams of edamame, and that is 11.54 grams of protein. And that's really nice. You can use this in so many ways. Add it to soups, add it to salads, add it to stir fries, just munch it on your own. Really good. Another fantastic source of protein are the beans and legumes, and we've got lentils and I've got chickpeas here. Again, this is what your portion size looks like. This is 100 grams, wonderful again in a soup. For your lentils, 8.38 grams of protein, pretty close also with the chickpeas at 8.23, but the edamame is the winner in this little category right here. So I wanted to show you this quinoa. This little 45-gram bit of quinoa comes out to that. So this is, you could actually have this instead of oatmeal even, but I love putting this in salads. You don't even have to use it all the time. Put it in the fridge and you can just keep that for a few days and add it to a variety of different things to just give yourself just that little bit of protein. So this little bit of quinoa adds 6 grams of protein, but again, in this protein package, we've just added in 5 grams of fiber, and how great is that? Let's move along to the nuts and the nut butters, and let's talk about the nut milk also. I've got here the highest protein for the nuts is in our pumpkin seeds, or the pepitas, if you want to call them that. This one, here's 30 grams. That's what the 30 grams looks like. So that's a pretty good portion actually, and that's 8.5 grams of protein. You know what, the peanuts and the walnuts, etc., come in just a little bit less, but this one is the star of the show, which is why I showed that. Then we've got peanut butter. I love peanut butter, and I love any kind of seed butter or anything like that, and almond butter. This is what your portion size looks like. This is 30 grams. It's not a ton. Here, let me just show you this. So it's not a ton. So excellent, excellent source of protein. You've got 8 grams of protein there, but remember, very, very calorie dense. So as great as these nuts and these nut butters are for us and giving us that little protein punch, just know that the nut milks are not giving us the protein that you might think. A serving of the 250 mils of this only has 1 gram of protein. So, you know, I know that this is wonderful, and if you don't eat dairy, then that's fine. But every once in a while, if you really need that protein boost and you do need dairy, then look at what we showed earlier with the milk. So who doesn't eat oatmeal? I eat oatmeal probably 5 days a week. Love it. We know that it's high in carbs, but it's also, in one serving, 6 grams of protein. That's great. 4 grams of fiber. Wonderful. And you know what? You can't really beat it. So again, look at the whole package. We can't just eat chicken breast breakfast, lunch, and dinner. We need a lot more in our body to keep us healthy. Let's move on to some veggies, because guess what? Veggies have protein too. How great is that? All right, look at this, the star of the show. I've got 100 grams of all of these 4 veggies, and look at this. All right, this spinach has 7.2 grams of protein in the 100 grams. Just for a reference for you, this whole container is 142. So I've got 100 grams in here. So add some spinach to your omelets. Have a big spinach salad. Add them to your soups. Add them to your pasta. Spinach has a good little pack of protein. My 100 grams of peas, wow, they pack a punch too. 100 grams of peas, 5.42 grams of protein. And then cauliflower. Cauliflower has more than broccoli. Here's my 100 grams just so that you can see the portion size. And the cauliflower is just over 4 grams of protein. And the broccoli is just about 2.6 grams of protein. So even in our veggies, we can get a little jab of protein. Last but not least, fruit. Who knew that there was protein in fruit? And guess what the star of the show is? Guava. So I haven't tried guava before. I've tried guava jam. I looked it up first. It says you can eat it just like an apple, including the seeds. Mild. Oh. I don't know. It tastes good, but how do you eat those seeds without breaking your teeth? Okay, so anyway, guava, 2.6 grams of protein per 100 grams. Avocado, again, that's the fruit. It is 2 grams of protein per the 100 grams. Now, of course, again, calorie dense, about 15 grams of fat in that little bit of avocado and 160 calories, but so, so good. So when you can work that in on avocado toast, in your salad, do that. Kiwi. Who knew kiwi has? This is a 100-gram kiwi, and that has 1.1 gram of protein. And the other one that has a good amount of protein, well, a little bit of protein, is the 100 grams of blackberries, and those also have 1.4 grams. So you see, all of these things are really low on the scale compared to the blockbusters that we saw at the beginning. But these are what makes our diet interesting. So we're adding these little bits of pieces, and we can come up with the number that we need. So there's the whole kind of puzzle that we've got going on, making the amount of protein that we need to sustain ourselves, watching out for if we're getting too much or we're not getting enough, figuring out exactly the grams that we need per day, and then varying our diet. So I hope that you've enjoyed this video and you can kind of figure out what you're gonna do. Let me know in the comments, what's your big protein go-to? And I'll look forward to seeing you in the next one.